Hi, my name is Yemi. I'm 23 and I'm an Osbit engineer. I've been working here for about 10 months now and it's been a bad year, but I'm still really enjoying my time here at Osbit. Osbit is an offshore engineering company that specialises in subsea and on-deck systems. They're quite different from other companies in that they encourage you to be creative. A lot of young people work here, which is good as well for someone who's just finished university. It's nice to work with people in a similar age to myself. Projects that I've worked on in the past have ranged in size. My first project when I joined the company was to design and build a floating dock, which is used to recover AUVs, so autonomous underwater vehicles, as they enter and leave the water. This was quite a cool project to work on because it was really short. It was a small team of us, and I got to get involved in every aspect of it, from the design of the system all the way through to buying materials, overseeing the build, and finally signing it off. The project I'm working on at the moment is quite bigger. The project is to design and build a smart tower system. This is then put on the back of a vessel which travels out to sea and aids in well intervention. My role within this project, especially recently, has been to help with the assembly of the systems that have been made by fabricators. This includes organising stock of materials, testing the systems once they've been fitted out with their hydraulics, visiting fabricators to ensure that they're making everything how we want it, which is good because it means I get to spend a lot of time on site and get my hands dirty. I've always been quite creative, especially from a young age. I used to like to see how things would fit together and how they worked. And I think that's definitely part of the reason that I enjoy engineering so much. My dad is an architect and he always pushed me and my siblings to do creative things when we were younger, whether this was painting or musical things. I think it all added up to me sort of enjoying being able to think of an idea and see it through to the end. And that's definitely the biggest thing that inspired me to become an engineer. At GCSE level, I used to really enjoy maths and physics. And these things really help me now in my career. Even though maths might not be everyone's favourite subject, it's really useful when you become an engineer because it's a crucial part of your everyday. I did maths, physics and economics at A-level, and then went on to university to study mechanical engineering at Newcastle University. I really enjoyed university, especially because you got given the opportunity to really start to learn a lot about engineering and to sort of get involved in design. There are a lot of school subjects that help me in my day-to-day work. English, for example. Communication is a really big part of work, whether that's talking to suppliers or discussing designs with other engineers from Osbit. Having a good grasp of English has definitely helped me throughout my working life. Science is also a really big part of my everyday working life. For example, the system that we're stood on now, the hydraulic system, is heavily based in science and physics. So having a good grasp of these types of subjects really does help when you're designing and making systems of this type. Of all the subjects I studied at school, I think maths is the most relevant to my everyday working life. Calculations are a big part of being an engineer, and being able to check your designs or actually going to work once you've completed them is crucial to designing and manufacturing the sort of things that we do at Osbit. There are a lot of skills which are important to my job here at Osbit, one of which is definitely teamwork and being able to work alongside other people. The way you work, and especially when you're in a small project, there's a lot of collaboration when you're thinking of how to design something or how to implement a system that you've already made. So being able to work in a team is really important for this reason. I feel like I'm quite a sociable person anyway, but these skills you'll definitely develop as you develop as an engineer. So it's not something you have to be good at right away. Another important skill that you need as an engineer is problem solving. This is something you'll use pretty much every day, whether or not that's thinking of a solution to a problem. It might be thinking of a solution in a design scenario, or thinking of a solution to a problem on your feet when you're out and about working on site. Again, this is something that really does develop over time, and I feel like I'm learning more and more about problem solving every day. You'll probably always come across problems as an engineer. This is just part of the job, but what's really important is your attitude towards solving these problems and being able to overcome them. That's what sort of sets you apart from the rest and makes you a good engineer. Another important skill that any engineer should have is leadership. Being quite a young engineer, I'm still very much learning in this sense, but I've already been given the opportunity to lead and lead by example in certain situations, whether this is showing new engineers around sites or passing on things that I've learned over my last 10 months at Osbit. Another important skill for an engineer to have is creativity. I feel like I'm a very creative person anyway, whether that be in an engineering setting or outside of work. I'm very into music. I DJ and produce music in my spare time. And I think this is definitely carried over to engineering. I think typically creativity is associated with disciplines that aren't necessarily as maths and science based as engineering, but I'd say that engineering is definitely a really creative discipline where you're sort of given the opportunity to implement your ideas when thinking of how to solve a problem. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I get up to in my working life as an engineer, and I hope that some of you have been inspired to maybe one day consider doing the same.